It's been a short while since my last upload. I've been quite busy. So anyway, here's a video for all those people new to the monarchism subreddit who want to know why a constitutional monarchy is better than a republic. Number 1. Unity. A cultural figurehead. Someone for people who identify as a certain nationality to feel proud about. The monarch is the physical embodiment of your culture. Those politicians only represent what you believe, and even that may not be entirely true. In Britain, the Conservative and Labour parties are at each other's throats all the time, but all of them, most of them, have the common interest of keeping the monarchy alive. And with the Queen's approval rating being over 75%, we can tell that the institution of the monarchy is doing its job properly. Number 2. Stability. Governments are changing all the time, flip-flopping between conservative and liberal. Tensions flare, there's constant anxiety among the people about what may change and how it will affect them, like Biden just axing the Keystone Pipeline, making thousands of working class people redundant. I don't go out often, but I do know that humans on the whole like stability, and something they can trust to stick around and not get rich off the country for 8 years and retire to Panama. Well, have no fear. Your monarchy is here. Number 3. Price. If you want to see me disprove some Republicans whilst also explaining this point, watch this video. But honestly, I only really need this one piece of evidence to point towards, and that's Joe Biden's $3.5 trillion spending plan he announced this year. I guarantee you this, Queen Liz and her heirs are never going to fleece the British public out of that much money. And neither is any other constitutional monarch. Monarchs are apolitical and do not spend extortionate amounts of money on people trying to figure out what their sexual orientation is. Number 4. Trust. Now tell me this honestly. Do you trust your politicians? Because I sure as hell don't. Did you trust Trump to build the wall? Nope. Did you trust Biden's administration will cure cancer? Nope. Do you trust Jeremy Corbyn not to sympathise with violent terrorist groups? Definitely not. But what you can trust is a monarch to not control their nation with political bias, to be radicalised in any way, and to have the public as their primary concern, and not the members of their party. Also, 7 out of 10 of the top most non-corrupt nations in the world are monarchies, so... Number 5. Economy. If there's one thing Republicans, well, reasonable Republicans, can't argue against, is that monarchies are good for a nation's economy. Tourism, private enterprise, and massive royal events like the Queen's Jubilee generate income for those who organise and can profit off these events, such as private food vendors, contractors, and flag makers in particular. Number 6. Morality. Like I mentioned earlier, as a politician, you don't need strong morals. You need to win a popularity competition for the next 4 to 8 years and then you can retire. Yeah, I'm sure it is stressful, and it can often be only one event to put your career in shambles. But it's nowhere near the level of responsibility that a monarch needs. A monarch reigns for their whole life or until they choose to abdicate. They need to have a strong moral compass. Since they're not elected, they need to make the right decisions or face public backlash. Backlash that would be near unanimous in comparison to a politician making a mistake. A mistake which would likely be downtrodden by supporters of the politician who risk looking foolish for supporting them and then later criticising them. Number 7. Tyranny. A royal family and a constitutional monarchy are arguably one of the most effective anti-tyranny measures a modern country could have. Got an elected tyrant? No problem, the crown keeps them in check. And no, of course it isn't a faultless method. Victor Emmanuel III did let Mussolini do all the tyranny he did, but in his defence he didn't really have a choice. Also, tyrants are often democratically elected whilst modern monarchs aren't. Not sure whether or not that's a reflection on democracy or just a coincidence. I'll let you decide that. Also, notice how I use the word modern when I describe monarchs, because, yeah, I'm not stupid. There have been tyrannical monarchs before, and there are still some to this day, some. However, I can assure you that they are miles more better than any medieval king you've got on your list of tyrants. And number 8. Change. Despite being an institution that has existed since the birth of society itself, monarchies change and cause change to the world around them. More for the good, I would argue. For example, Prince Charles has been campaigning for environmental change for decades. Princess Diana helped destigmatise AIDS, and Prince William and Kate are campaigning at this moment to get rid of the stigma around mental health. Royal families do this using their own money, and money raised by fundraisers, in comparison to the politicians that use public funds and will either mismanage an event or attempt to make profit off the event themselves. Are monarchies perfect? No, I'll never claim that. Monarchs are people like you and me, and they make mistakes. But are they better than republics? Yes. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to spread the counter-revolution. Also, I have a Twitter now, go and follow me there.